What up, guys? Your boy Quake back with a brand new episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast, number 374. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode and, going over that whole Diddy documentary, doing a review of it. Yeah, man, it's been a wild, wild ride. I think a lot of people have been talking about it. We're going to be talking about Diddy actually in this podcast, a few things that are going on with it. But yeah, just wanted to say we have a bunch of stuff in the works behind the scenes. I know I've been saying that a few times on the podcast, but a lot of things going on. The channel is getting back to normal. I mean, for the first time ever, in the whole month, I've eclipsed over 1 million views, which hasn't been done in a long time on that channel. So everything is getting back to normal, how it's supposed to be. I just recently had a video do 150,000 views in a day. That's exactly what the channel is supposed to be doing. Yeah, I think somebody tweeted at me too. Thank you for letting me know about the AI stuff. But yeah, shut that AI stuff off. If it's, it's definitely a hindrance. I don't think they've figured that whole thing out yet. And they'll probably figure it out down the line. But right now, I don't trust it. So yeah, the main channel is back to normal, doing its thing. Very happy about that. I need to set up some new interviews. That's 100% what I need to do. So I'm going to figure that out down the line. So after the Sha Money one, I probably won't have a new interview come out. I might here's a good thing that I might do. I might take that Benzino interview that I did in beginning of 2024 on the podcast and repurpose it for the main channel. So I'm going to repurpose a lot of these interviews, even the Buck and the Hot Rod. I'm going to take clips from that, repurpose them because the channel was just getting cooked and I didn't get the proper views or any of that from those interviews. So I'm going to repurpose them. We actually took a Hot Rod clip where he's talking about Diddy and posted it on X, and I got over 250,000 views. So it just goes to show that even if you drop the content and it didn't perform well, either delete it or just repost it later down the line. And, that Hot Rod Diddy clip on YouTube only did like probably 5,000 views, which is crazy on a channel that has 700,000 subscribers. It's insane. But that was that AI stuff that was messing it up. So we're repurposing it, we're reposting it, we're doing our thing, and we're getting better results this time around, really all across the board. Not to say that like when I posted, let's just say the Buck interview, what's crazy is on the main YouTube channel we have over 700,000 subscribers, and we were only getting like 20, 30, maybe 40,000 views at max, and that's like some videos are only getting like 5,000 views. But then I go on TikTok, get 250,000 views. I go on Instagram, I get 400,000 views. I go on Facebook, get 100,000 views. So every other platform was getting me over 100,000 views, no problem. But YouTube, which is the platform where I have the most subscribers and followers and whatever. Yeah, sorry I keep complaining about that. I'm just letting you guys know it's a frustrating thing when something like that on the channel happens. People comment like, "Where have you been, Quake?" And I'm like, dude, I've been posting legitimately like every single day almost. Yeah, we have a few more portions of the Sha Money clip. I think like 4 or 5 more parts, probably 6 that are going to come out. And then I might do the Kid one, or I might do the Benzino one. And then I'm going to be working on newer interviews. I'm trying to get some new people. I just haven't been dedicating time to that because I've been doing so much other things behind the scenes, working with some people, and which is going to be really, really exciting. I mean, once you guys get to finally see that, that's what I'm most excited about. That's why my focus has been on that, because that's going to, let's just say that's a way bigger thing than anything else that I'm working on right now. But I do have a documentary coming out very, very soon. I was supposed to release it this first week of December, but the Diddy documentary dropped, doing reviews of that, videos about it, then doing all this other behind-the-scenes stuff. Just kind of got pushed to the side. And really, that's, I just got to record it, edit it, and that's it. Record the script that I wrote, and then edit it, and then it should be out. So give me another week, maybe a week and a half, and it should be out mid-December, somewhere around there. It's a very, very cool documentary. It's something that like nobody's ever talked about, so it's a very interesting story. But yeah, that's the kind of update on all that. But let's get into the news. There is a lot going on. First, I want to update you guys with 6ix9ine. He has officially received his sentencing. So let's go over this article. Tekashi 6ix9ine continues to rack up a lot of antics these days, but he will take a temporary pause. Following a federal court session in New York City today, Friday, December 5th, the judge in his case sentenced him to 3 months behind bars for violating the terms of his probation. More specifically, according to TMZ, the judge called 6ix9ine a dumpster fire, but chose to not sentence him to more months. Like prosecutors had pushed, as for the reason why, it is unclear at press time. However, according to the outlet, The same judge gave him a conditional release during the COVID-19 pandemic. This follows 6ix9ine's other recent antics and controversies, some of which connect him to his legal situation and some of which do not. In the former category, one example is the recent prison and courtroom stream he participated in alongside Adin Ross, DJ Academics, Charleston White, Neon, and more. At one point of the live stream in which Tekashi faced a mock trial and interrogations, he started humping the leg of trans social media personality Ali Lopez. It was a controversial moment that was reportedly off script. For those unaware, 6ix9ine was on probation following the testimony in prison time in the 9 Trey Bloods RICO case, over which he came home in 2020. Following his release, legal authorities imposed strict probation guidelines and required consistent testing, check-ins, and more. I don't understand these streaming things, man. I saw a tweet where someone said, like Adin Ross and Kai Cenat and iShowSpeed, it's mainly kids that watch that stuff. And everybody that's around me who are adults, I mean, the youngest person I know is like 24 years old. They don't watch any of these streams. I can understand certain streams like DJ Academics, if people watch that, because Academics isn't like a iShowSpeed or like a Kai Cenat. Like, he's more serious and he talks about, news, whatever the case may be. So him, I can understand if somebody watches his live stream at times. But yeah, I don't see, I've never had the incentive to watch a live stream of really any type of creator. It just never intrigued me. One, I just don't have time. I barely have time to watch movies or TV shows or anything. So that's the first thing. Second, I just don't, what am I watching? I'm watching somebody live their life or just talk about things. I don't know. It's very interesting. That's why when people are like, yo, you should live stream this and that, I was like, man, it doesn't really add much value. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. And it's not to disrespect iShowSpeed or any of these other streamers. They're doing a great job, and a lot of them put a lot of production into their live streams. But I just feel like it's, they do the big production, but other than that, it's like there's people that literally just sit on live stream and watch videos all day and just talk about, react to videos, and that's it. So you're not really producing content. You're just reacting to content. You're not doing anything that's creative, really. It's just you sitting on your ass all day reacting to content. And unfortunately, people watch that, which is like crazy. I can understand, like, let's just say for me, for example, if I occasionally go online live stream once every 2 weeks and we react to some songs, some, whatever videos, and you guys want me to watch, I get that. Occasionally, it makes sense, right? You're chilling. It's more of a moment instead of just every single day. It doesn't really make sense. I don't understand, like, what's that guy's name, man? Ansem Gold or something like that. I forget his name. He's the guy who ended his monetization. But all I see his videos are is him just reacting to stuff. It's like he's not really producing any content. I could be wrong. That's what I see. It's like, what's his name, man? Another guy. He was huge, like the big PewDiePie. Like, it's another person where he was a gamer for a certain extent, but then he was just reacting to content. It's like, you're not really producing any content. You're just like that. I don't know. It just doesn't, there's nothing that you're adding. Like, I want to add, like, if I'm putting content out, I want to add new information out there or just pieces put together that people don't put together. That's what the documentaries are. We're just taking pieces of stuff, putting them together and presenting them in a really, dope way. And then with these interviews, I just want to get information that's never been gotten before. With the Buck, I never heard him speak about the chain incident. With Hot Rod, there's a lot of moments where I never heard him speak about certain situations. D-Tay, yeah, there was like a few parts where I asked him that nobody else asked him, but his story is kind of the same. But yeah, I like to get something new, something fresh out there for history purposes and just, content. Like, if you're not contributing really to the content world and you're just like reacting, it's like, I get it if that's a start, if that's how you want to start to try to build an audience, but don't get stuck in that in the content world. I don't think, I think you should, if you're getting into content, do it because you want to actually change a narrative. You want to push something. You want to do something different. Like, when I got into it, I noticed nobody was doing long format documentaries, and nobody. You can go check. The first one I dropped was in 2017 of May. That was 50 versus Rick Ross, nearly an hour long. And I was questioning whether anybody would even watch that long of a documentary. But I released it. People commented. The feedback was amazing. And then that's where I started doing longer format content, because I just realized bro, like there's people out here covering these beefs and it's like a 5-minute video, and that's not what these beefs are. So that's how I got my start, where I found a place where nobody was doing anything, you know? And if they were, let's just say, I don't want to call his name out because I feel like I'm disrespecting him, but there's a guy who does like, and you guys can tell if you're a hip hop content consumer, you can tell who I'm talking about. There's a guy who would talk about beefs and he would just put like a couple images up and it would be like 30 minutes of him talking. I'm not going to say his name just because I'm not like trying to disrespect him or anything, but there was like it was like minimal effort. That was probably the only person that was talking a little bit in longer formats and talking about, beefs that were happening, but there was like no effort in the videos. It's just a couple of images, which is the easiest thing ever. Like anybody could produce that. Anybody, literally. An 8-year-old could make that. I was making videos like that when I was, actually I was making better videos than that when I was 10 years old with Windows Movie Maker and making fan-made 50 Cent G-Unit videos. So, if you're going to get into the content world, I definitely, recommend, if you could just mess around with things, really. Do reaction, just throw shit at the wall. And eventually you will build a fan base, and that fan base will guide you. They will comment what they like, what they don't like. That's how I got into the whole longer format documentaries. Like I said, 50 versus Ross. I did Drake versus Meek Mill, a short one. It was only 15 minutes. It was just me mainly talking about who I felt won. It wasn't really going over the beef. It was a little bit, like a couple of tracks here and there, and that's it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I can extend this. Maybe I can do more of this. And then I did 50 versus Ross, and I even skipped a lot on that. Like that could have been easily a 2-hour long documentary, which I will redo those down the line. I'm going to redo those, remaster a lot of these documentaries. I just want to, do some newer ones. And then down the line, once I build more of a team, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take those, re-record them, and then re-edit them and have a team that will help me. So I don't have to like go back and redo everything completely. It'll be easier for me that way. But yeah, that's, I got guidance from my audience to do that type of footage and do that type of documentaries, because they're like, dude, I've never seen anything like this. It's like a movie. It's like a Netflix documentary. So people were commenting, and I was like, okay, I got something here. Clearly, this is what people are craving. They don't just want short content. They want detailed stuff. And that's how I found my lane, is because of people commenting. Granted, I did give myself a little bit of credit. I give, the people that are watching me credit as well. But for me, I did kind of notice there was a gap in there, as I was watching stuff. So once they kind of confirmed it too, that the audience wanted it, okay, then you go that route and So that's why if you're a content creator, just throw shit at the wall. And eventually there will be something that sticks. And it might be your niche, and it might be something that nobody's really doing, man. Because you think that everything's been done. Just like I probably thought on YouTube. That's why I initially thought, okay, everybody's been doing the same type of stuff. How can I get in here and do something different? And then I find out long format, nobody's ever doing that. Granted, this is 2017, so the game has changed. A lot of people are doing a lot of different things, and we're in 2025. So I feel like an old dinosaur saying 2017. But been in this for a fat minute, man. And to sustain longevity and still be relevant, to still, besides this year with the AI shit that fucked me over, I've been generating at least every year anywhere from 12 to 18 million views just on YouTube alone. And overall, we've been growing on social medias all over the place. I mean, the Instagram is about to reach 300,000 followers. We got Snapchat over 50,000 now. So we're growing on every other. Facebook's just about to tap 40,000. So we're growing all over the place, and it's a long journey, man. But yeah, I'm just going on and talking like crazy. But yeah, don't be discouraged. Just try stuff that sticks to the wall and see, man, and try different things out. Reaction content, do live streams, do whatever you feel like is more what you want. My ultimate goal is to do documentaries. I want to get Netflix deals. I want to work, and do like the Sean Combs, The Reckoning, whatever type of documentary. I just want to do documentaries. That's my ultimate goal. I really, once I get into that lane and I'm completely in there, that's all I want to do. Because that Give Richard I Try one, it really put this thing in me where like it was so fun. Don't get me wrong, it was stressful. Like so much shit went wrong behind the scenes. And one day I will talk about that. I will tell you guys the full behind the scenes of what happened, because it is an insane story. I mean, there was actually a moment where I cried in front of my friend because of all the shit that was going on. I'm not even joking. Like the shit that was going on behind the scenes for this, I knew it was like, as I was going through it though, I still thought to myself, hey, this is for something. There has to be a reason why this is happening, So, and then I was creatively stuck on a lot of things, and it was amazing though. I would not trade any of that ever. because it was just such an amazing experience. So I want to keep doing those, and whatever challenges down the line come from that. But that's the 6ix9ine stuff. Sorry, I got off because he's doing live streaming and everybody's doing live streaming at this point. But yeah, 6ix9ine's found his lane live streaming, and he's kind of reinvented himself as well, where more people are fucking with him because people find him funny. You know, they've always found him funny. But now he's kind of rebranded himself, and with all the snitching stuff happening, you know, with the Young Thug thing, I think people kind of just said, fuck him, man. He snitched. It is what it is. Let's keep it going. And he's not really, his music isn't really catching like the live streaming. So he's kind of reinvented himself. And he's probably going to stick with this lane for a while. And then maybe there'll be something down the line that comes out. But that's it for 6ix9ine and his sentencing. Diddy's mom has officially responded to 50 Cent's The Reckoning, Sean Combs documentary. Let's see what she had to say. So the Sean Combs Reckoning is already causing a lot of controversy and pushback, particularly from Diddy and his close circle. His mother, Janice Combs, recently clapped back at abuse claims against them levied in the 50 Cent executive-produced docuseries, sharing a statement with Deadline about these accusations and other conclusions and narratives. I'm writing this statement to correct some of the lies presented in the Netflix Sean Combs The Reckoning, released on December 2nd, 2025. Janice Combs reportedly stated, these inaccuracies regarding my son's upbringing, my son Sean's upbringing and family life is intentionally done to mislead viewers and further harm our reputation. In the documentary, I am portrayed as an abusive parent. This is untrue. I raised Sean with love and hard work, not abuse. Janice Combs also denied the claims in 50 Cent's doc that the mother and son have a strained relationship. Elsewhere in the statement, the Bad Boy mogul is referenced as a dutiful son. In addition, the matriarch requested that these distortions, falsehoods, and misleading statements be publicly retracted. The allegation stated by Mr. Kirk Burroughs that my son slapped me while we were conversing after the tragic City College events on December 28, 1991 are inaccurate and patently false. Patently false. I don't even fucking know. She stated, this was a very sad day for all of us. For him to use this tragedy and incorporate fake narratives to further his prior failed and current attempt to gain what was never his Bad Boy Records is wrong, outrageous, and just offensive. Meanwhile, Diddy's efforts to discredit 50 Cent documentary have two main arguments. The first is alleged defamatory practices and purportedly misleading information. The second is supposedly illegal acquisition of footage. Now, here's the thing. Like, when I was watching the documentary, I did take some things with a grain of salt. I didn't just say, hey, I believe these people 100%, right? Some stuff has more proof in it. With the Cassie stuff, basically with the women stuff, I can believe more. Like, I can believe that Sean potentially slapped his mom. Like, it seems like with women, there's a lot of women that have accused him of that type of stuff. As far as, you know, the business side, yes, a lot of artists have come out, so I get it, but we gotta remember this too, is the people that are interviewed in this documentary, they also haven't been paid for certain services. When you don't pay people, they are going to go against you. It's really just that simple. They're going to have a vendetta against you. Not to say that what their stories are false or that they're not telling the truth, but they will say more vicious things towards their way when they're not paid properly. For example, if that Kirk Burroughs got 25% of Bad Boy and got paid, I doubt he would be in that documentary. I think his loyalty would be towards Diddy, despite if he saw all that stuff, regardless. If that Lil Rodney, whatever, Lil Rod, the guy who did the album work, if he got paid properly, I don't think he would be in this documentary if he got paid $250,000 like he was promised. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just saying, I think a lot of people keep their mouths shut when they are paid properly. And Diddy hasn't paid a lot of people properly. So that part of the paying stuff, I can believe, because even the footage that came out, the guy saying, I wasn't paid when I was shooting this footage. So there you go. That's how the footage got there. So you got to take some of the stuff with a grain of salt. Not to say that it's not true, because some of the stuff does line up and make sense. But some of it is also just, to make Diddy look pretty bad. But the documentary is fair. In all seriousness, it wasn't just like this hit piece of stuff. It was fairly fair. More fair than I expected, honestly. Yeah, I really don't see this documentary as like this horrible thing that's making him seem like a monster and all this stuff. Like, surviving R. Kelly was worse than this. So she says it didn't happen. That's his mom. His mom says, nope, didn't happen. It's all false. So that's her side of things. And obviously she is going to deny it. She wouldn't say, yes, I abused my son and my son slapped the shit out of me. That just wouldn't make sense. She's obviously going to refute it. And a lot of people on Diddy's side are going to refute it. But hey, where there's smoke, there's fire, man. You can't refute the domestic violence. We see that on CNN. There's been a lot of men accused of domestic violence, but there hasn't been clear footage of them doing it. So, I even said, man, as Diddy was getting sued with these things, I said, let's wait until there's solid evidence. We're not just going to believe everything that somebody says. There needs to be some type of proof. And once that CNN video came out, there you go, man. With the hotel of him beating Cassie, there you go. So at least domestic violence, he puts his hands on women. That's 100%. If he did it to Cassie, he definitely did it to other women. There's no way it was only Cassie. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Usually if somebody puts their hands on a woman, what's the percentage that they actually learn from that first mistake and never do it again? It's probably a small, there are men like that they put their hands on a woman on accident the first time ever, they never do it again. That does happen. But there's more of a man that does it repeatedly, or a woman, doesn't matter, either way, that does do it repeatedly. They don't learn from the first mistake. They keep doing it. They apologize. They bring them back, do it again, same, so on and so forth. So if he did it to Cassie, I could see him doing it to at least women around that time with Cassie. But yeah, that's my kind of stance on her response to that. But yeah, at least they're not denying the domestic violence stuff, because at that point, we got footage of that. You can't deny that. Continuing on, Diddy allegedly recorded conversation with his case lawyer without permission, and they're furious. So that footage that came out, they weren't supposed to record those conversations. Diddy wasn't, at least. But also, Diddy probably didn't expect that footage to come out. So let's go over this. The new 50 Cent executive-produced docuseries, Sean Combs: The Reckoning, has caused a lot of controversy for Diddy. He and his legal team claim that the documentary uses unlawfully obtained footage, and some of this footage doesn't paint his legal dynamics in a good light. Namely, as reported by TMZ, there's a clip of Sean Combs talking to his lawyer, Mark Argafilo, over the phone, and he didn't sound happy at all. Per the outlet, the conversation was about his impending arrest and occurred as his federal case mounted up in the background. Someone whom the bad boy mogul purportedly paid to document his life recorded the interaction. Apparently, he wasn't happy with his legal team for losing the case at that time. I'm tired of going back and forth with y'all with the lawyers, Diddy told Argafilo, who tried to push back. Nevertheless, Combs continued, let me tell you something. Let me say this. I'm not a referee, so I'm going to get off the phone right now. Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now. I'm going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what nobody said, y'all are not working together right now. We're losing. On the Two Angry Men podcast, Harvey Levine, which is the owner of TMZ, Mark Gregos theorized as to whether or not Mark Argafilo might feel betrayed by Puff Daddy. This is because Puff allegedly recorded their conversation without letting him know about it. Gregos hasn't talked to Argafilo about it. They both have ties to Combs' legal team, but he thinks he would be very mad if he was in that situation. So it's basically hearsay. He thinks so. It's not really like, oh, his lawyers, are pissed off. But I would be. I mean, as a lawyer, I'd be mad in that situation. I can understand him saying that. I mean, as a lawyer, things are confidential, man. You don't want things out there with your client. Lawyer stuff is actually the most confidential. You could literally admit to a lawyer that you murdered someone. If you're not on trial for murdering somebody, you can admit to a lawyer that you murdered someone. I think you're pretty much free, to not get charged with that. Like, the lawyer can't go and turn around and turn you in. I think there's rules to that, obviously, but still, there's so much. I'm just saying that to say that there's so much confidentiality with the lawyer that you can kind of just say whatever and get away with it with the lawyer because they're not supposed to, reveal any information. It's kind of like a therapist. Same shit as a therapist. Or I think that's a therapist where you have to tell them, hey, you can tell them you murdered somebody and they can't. I don't know. Regardless, yeah, there is confidentiality in the situation. So having Diddy record that stuff without them knowing, I would be pissed as a lawyer. So I can see that. Yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward. Maybe they might end up suing Diddy for recording them without their consent. That would be hilarious if his legal team turned on him. That'd be crazy. But yeah, we'll see what happens. 50 Cent is dealing with his own legal issues, and it deals with a different movie. Nothing to do with Diddy, but it deals with that influencer and the Skillhouse and all that stuff. So let's get into it. 50 Cent may be enjoying the reception of Sean Combs' The Reckoning, but that doesn't mean things are all swell. In fact, he's been in the middle of a tense legal battle for the last several months. He's fighting back against the producers of Skillhouse, a low-budget horror satire flick starring Fifth and social media stars Bryce Hall and Hannah Stocking. It struggled at box office, barely cracking 100,000, but even worse is that the reception for the film, which hit theaters in July, was atrocious. One critic even went as far as to call it a giant pile of shit. Now compounding with all of that, 50 Cent is suing its producers, namely Ryan Kavanaugh, for at least $5 million. In particular, he wants damages for the brazen and unauthorized use of image rights. The businessman says in his 50-page filing that even though they didn't reach a deal for him to appear in it, he still filmed his scenes with hope that the paperwork would get done. That didn't happen. He hasn't been compensated, so now 50 is claiming that Kavanaugh and the rest of the Skillhouse team breached a settlement and still used his image and likeness without permission. Per the lawsuit, 50 alleges they put a 50 Cent movie and produced by 50 Cent on trailers and other promotions for it. On top of that, he alleges they also used bottles of his champagne brand, Le Chemin du Roi, to add more credibility to the project. Lastly, Kavanaugh and his elite team allegedly used 50's brand to launch their own streaming service, Gen TV, to compete with the New York natives with 50 Action. His is 50 Action, which is in partnership with Lionsgate. All of this, along with those poor reviews, 50 says really hurt his chances of getting more acting offers. Unfortunately, the G-Unit boss's attempts to secure a legal win against the makers of Skillhouse haven't gone well. Just weeks before it debuted on July 11th, he tried to block its release in federal court, and that didn't work out, obviously. Yeah, I mean, does he have somewhat of a case, I guess? I mean, if they didn't sign any paperwork that 50's going to be in it, then yeah, there can be a lawsuit and all that stuff. And yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward. But yeah, there's been projects that 50's done in the TV world that haven't gone well at all. I mean, the first, and I actually want to highlight 50's career in the TV world because it just goes to show how determined he was to succeed in that world, which is, hats off to him because he started out rough. I mean, he started with his first TV show. It was called The Money and the Power on MTV. That shit flopped. It flopped horribly. I think the first 2 episodes, it was like on primetime MTV, and the views were so bad that they actually pushed it to like a very, very late time. I remember I had cable at this time, and I wanted to watch it. And I had school the next morning, but the shit would come on at like 12 or 1 at night, basically when nobody's awake. That's when they pushed it, and they just released the final episodes or whatever, the last like 8 episodes of the show, and never got renewed. It flopped badly. Let's just say that. So 50 had a bad start in the TV world trying to produce TV. And then, he started to find his niche and then got power, success. But that happens in any field, Not everything that you do is going to succeed. But yeah, he's determined. And this is another just flopped project that 50 didn't promote properly and didn't, get compensated properly. But we'll see what happens moving forward on if 50 has a case or not. Pusha T says he is done with diss tracks. They're dead to him. That's interesting. Interesting take. Let's see what he's got to say. Pusha T is tired of diss tracks and rap beefs. That sentence might have you scratching your head, especially because of his fiery bars for his ex-Good Music co-stars. On Let God Sort Him Out, Pusha targeted the likes of Kanye West on Ace Trumpets and Travis Scott on So Be It. But even though this is recent history, King Push is done feeding into this part of rap culture. In a recent interview, he states how diss tracks are dead to him. He starts off by saying that he's also content with only making music with his brother Malice. I'm somewhere right now where I don't even want to make music with other people, nevertheless have anybody else in my music or be the focus of my music. What we're doing right here with the clips is, to me, so next level. Pusha T then continues, says, I feel like the taste level is above everything else, even being caught up in the world of it. I don't like even the world of the back and forth. If I don't see eye to eye with you, there's probably things I don't want to be there about. You know what I'm saying? He concludes, it's kind of dead to me. It's the ransom of what a diss track used to be. Bring there a clear winner. Somebody would really bow out, and then that's it. The last man standing. Now it's just a whole bunch of noise. Even after we find winners, it's still noise. And it's like, man, what is this for? Folks in the comments believe his thoughts are response to conversations about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. At this point, most rap listeners are kind of tired of the debates of who won, even the former defamation lawsuit against UMG. even the labels on the same page, but overall, it's certainly interesting given how Pusha is referred to as the boogeyman. It also makes sense why he's ready to continue to cook up Malice. Yeah, anyways, I agree. I think battles, they're forever going to have these conversations about who won, unless it's a clear winner, and there's only been a few battles to me where it's a clear winner. I think the closest one was Nas versus Jay-Z. A lot of people still debate that to this day. Jadakiss versus Beanie Siegel. Who else, man? What's another battle that you could look at and be like, this was very close? Those two come out the top of my head. But Drake versus Kendrick, I mean, anybody who's like not biased towards Kendrick or Drake, it's clear as day Kendrick won that. I mean, anybody who's like has half a brain can tell that Kendrick won that. Doesn't matter about what was said in the bars and who proved what. Just the response, Kendrick just had his run, and that's it. 50 versus Ja Rule, it's clear as day 50 won that. There's some beefs that were just, it's clear as day. And I never understood the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. That beef, I hope down the line, we just kind of forget about all the back and forths from fans, because fans really, or stands, I want to say stands. I'm not going to, penalize the fans. The stands in that beef ruined that whole beef. I hated it. They had like all these conspiracy theories and all this shit defending their side, and it was just horrible. I was not a fan of it. That's what ruined that battle for me completely, is the stands in that. That's it. If you just look at the music, it was I think both artists did a great job. Obviously, Kendrick did a better job, but hey, Drake had some shit on there too, man. Push-Ups, Family Matters. I like that last half of Family Matters is arguably one of Drake's like best portions of songs ever. So we got some great music out of it, great excitement. But yeah, there's like very clear battle. Okay, here's another very clear battle. Eminem versus Benzino, obviously. Super clear as day. There's ones that are close, and then there's ones that are very clear. To me, the closest ones are obviously Jay-Z versus Nas, and then Jadakiss versus Beanie Siegel. Those are the two that come to my head where it's like, it's hard to debate. You can go this way, you can go that way, and I want to be mad at you. As far as every other battle, I can't really think off the top of my head unless I'm missing some. But as far as actually, Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly, to me, I know some people will say, "Oh, Eminem destroyed him." To me, don't start attacking me, all Quake. I'm just saying. To me, that was a close battle. I liked Rap Devil. I think Machine Gun Kelly has the best diss track, period, against Eminem. So he put up the best fight. And Eminem isn't in his prime, so it's kind of like Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Let's use that example. We know Mike Tyson's a legend, but Jake Paul is younger, can do more. And that's really what this was. It was like Eminem is past his prime, so a lot of people viewed him differently. Machine Gun Kelly was, I don't want to say in his prime, because then once he got into rock, he actually got even bigger. But, he was entering his prime, I guess. So that's a different dynamic, and, I just feel like Machine Gun Kelly did his thing. It was more of a close battle to me than, most people say. Now, I flip-flop. Sometimes I like Rap Devil, sometimes I like Killshot more. I flip-flop. To me, I've had days where I listen to Killshot and I'm like, holy shit. And then I have days I listen to Rap Devil, I'm like, holy shit, I love this record. So, maybe lyrically you could say Eminem destroyed him, but like everything else, I'm not going to get into that because everybody's going to comment and attack me, blah, 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 whatever, guys. That's my take on it. I think it's a close battle. But yeah, as Pusha T is saying, the debate just lasts way too long with beefs, and it's annoying, especially if it's a clear win. It is a clear win that Kendrick won, like clearly. This is coming from somebody who likes both fucking artists. I have my Spotify, whatever the fuck, my Apple Music, because I listen to Apple Music, top 10 lists. Drake and Kendrick are both in my top 10 list. I listen to both. I love both. I've always enjoyed both. I mean, I have a video a long time ago where I'm siding more with Kendrick, and then I have a video now with Who Really Won. I sided more with Drake a little bit on the war portion. I said Kendrick won the battle, but the war portion, I feel like Drake, if he has that lawsuit. But obviously the lawsuit went the left route, so we'll see. We'll see when Iceman comes out, how he manages to outlive that whole situation. But, the stands is what ruins it. I think once the battle happens, man, make your decision and don't go back and forth of, oh, did this person say this? Oh, this. Who cares, man? It's just music. Get over it. Unless somebody dies, obviously it's a different story. But they're just diss records, man. Enjoy them for what they are. Don't deep dive and, pry into these tracks and try to come up with conspiracy theories of this. Just enjoy the records, man. Whether it's true or not, just enjoy it, But yeah, that's my take on it, and I agree with Pusha T, man. He's over it. I would not be surprised why he's over it. It makes total sense. Speaking of Kendrick Lamar, Sounwave revealed that Kendrick Lamar started working on GNX immediately after Mr. Morale, which is surprising to me. So let's go over this article. Kendrick Lamar didn't take a breath between eras. According to longtime collaborators Sounwave, which I don't know if I'm saying this wrong, Sounwave, the moment Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers rapped, Kendrick was already shifting gears into what would become GNX. In a new interview with Variety, Sounwave laid out the surprisingly fast and incredibly intense timeline behind one of the year's most dissected albums. He explained that Kendrick started sketching ideas for GMX almost immediately entering what he called a throwing paint on the wall phase. Over the months that followed, the experimentation exploded into an archive of 80 to 100 songs, giving Kendrick a massive catalog to carve the album from. The beginning of it was throwing paint on the wall, Sounwave told Variety, and it started from this massive, funky West groove that we love because Kendrick and I are from Compton. The sonic identity became strong enough that Sounwave knew exactly who to bring in next, and Mustard came aboard to deepen the LA feel, while Jack Antoff joined later in the process to refine the evolving sound. I realized the people who we should bring in to push it even further, Sounwave said. I was fortunate to have friends who are very talented. But the most chaotic part of the timeline came at the finish line. According to Sounwave, Antoff was still working on final mixes until 4 in the morning, just hours before GNX hit streaming platforms. Furthermore, the album was essentially being locked in real time as fans waited for it to drop. The timeline paints a clearer picture of Kendrick's process. Moreover, it involved non-stop creation, obsessive world building, and razor-sharp editing down to the wire. Starting a new album the second the last one ends, building 100 songs just to choose a handful, fine-tuning mixes in the middle of the night to meet the release window. For Kendrick, the GNX era wasn't a neatly packaged rollout. It was a relentless marathon, and somehow the chaos made the final result feel even more intentional. I agree. This is cool because a lot of people would assume after the Drake beef, Kendrick worked on this album. That's what people assumed, and I assumed the same thing. But yeah, 80 to 100 tracks, and really, really huge respect for Kendrick Lamar for not fucking stuffing this album with like 30 tracks, which he could have easily done. And I'm sure we're probably going to get a GNX Deluxe because he's previewed that one song, and we still haven't heard a single, I don't know, when does the anniversary for this? Didn't this come out like the anniversary passed already, I think? Yeah, November 22nd, 2024. So I don't know. Maybe he'll release the deluxe version. Maybe that song will never see the light of day. I don't know. But, the project is not that long, bro. 12 tracks. That's it out of 80 to 100 songs. Like I'm tired of artists stuffing their albums with fucking 20 tracks. It's just annoying, man. It ruins a lot of shit. Like, I challenge Eminem's next album to be 12 to 15 tracks max. I pray that this Game Documentary 3 album is like 16 tracks max, because this motherfucker's going to stuff it with 30 songs, and it's going to be overflooded, beefed up, and it's not even going to be that good because he's beefed it up so much. Drillmatic started with like 12 tracks he said the album's going to be. All of a sudden, we're here listening to fucking 25 songs, whatever, how many songs that fucking project is. And even this mixtape, every trailer needs a movie, whatever. Every movie needs a trailer. Fucking 19, I don't even know, 19 tracks, I think. 18 fucking tracks. 18 for a mixtape, bro. Can we get a fucking project where you're just dropping like 12 songs, 15 songs? It's way better, man. Way better. The max, I think, is 16. That's it. 16. That's it, man. Get your shit off in 16. That's it. I don't want to fucking hear you rambling about random shit. So that's a huge respect factor to Kendrick for being able to tighten this project up, even though you had 80 to 100 songs. That's like beautiful to me. That's what makes a great artist that can take all these fucking amazing songs and package it into this. Give It a Try Tryin' had 48 songs recorded for it. They packaged that bitch up to 16 tracks out of the 48, which is easier to do, 48 versus 80 to 100, obviously, but 48 tracks. And then the bonus cuts is Wanksta, which is 8 Mile off 8 Mile. Your Life's on the Line, which is obviously Columbia and the whole Power of the Dollar. And then You're Not Like Me, which is a mixtape record that they had. So those tracks don't even count as like an actual album process. So they had 16 tracks that they selected, and that's it, man. Figure it out. Fucking 16 tracks. That's more than enough to get your shit off. like I said, my favorite Drake album is the shortest album, which is Nothing Was the Same. The standard version is like, how much is the standard? I think it's like 13 tracks if I remember correctly. And then the deluxe is like 16 max. And shout out to 40, because 40 was the one that was like, oh, I'm gonna challenge you to make a shorter album. Thank God there's some people with some sense when they're making fucking music, because Drake would have had this project. Yeah, so 13 tracks on the normal version, just 13 tracks. Deluxe has 14 and 15, and then a Best Buy Deluxe version has 16. So you have to get a specific store Deluxe version to get 16 tracks on this album. So like the standard version, I'm fine with even 15 to 16. I'm fine with that. That's a great number. But anywhere from 10 to 16, keep it between there, man. Under 10, now you're just being lazy and a piece of shit. Over 16, you're just doing way too fucking much. Find the sweet balance. So I hope the documentary 3 is fucking max 16 tracks, game. Please. If somebody from Game's team is watching this somehow, please tell that man to stop terrorizing us with 30 tracks on a fucking album. You got the documentary 2 and the documentary 2.5, like 40 fucking tracks. What's the point of that? To this day, I haven't finished that. I'm not even joking. I haven't finished the documentary 2 or documentary 2.5. Never finished it. I'm not even joking. Actually, I did one time, but I never listened to those tracks ever again because it's just too much shit. Too much. I don't want to listen to all that. Unless the music's amazing, which an artist nailing a 20-track album to have every fucking song be amazing is, I don't think an artist has done it yet. I can't name a 20-track album that's amazing every single track. To me, I can't, because my classic rules are strict. I have to like every single song off your album. 50 did it, but he added those 3 bonuses that were not from the actual recording sessions of Get Rich or Die Trying. So 50 did it with 19. It's classic. All those tracks are amazing to me. That's why 50 is my favorite. But there's really isn't any fucking artist that's done it. Relapse got very close from Eminem to me, but it's hard, man. So give yourself a better chance. Michael Jackson's Thriller, the best-selling album of all time. Like, how do you guys not use that as a blueprint? What is that album? I think it's like 10 tracks, if that. Let me see. I'm actually curious. I forget, man. It's like 10 tracks. Maybe 12, maybe 11. It's 10. I think it's 10 tracks. I'm probably right. Because I'm a fucking beast. I remember this shit. It's 10 tracks. It has to be 10 tracks. I swear to God, it's 10 tracks. It's 9 tracks. So, yeah, I fucked that up. Guys. Sorry, I fucked it up. 9 tracks, bro. 9 tracks. That's it. The greatest selling album of all time. I think that's too short. I think, but they wanted to make every song a hit. So, makes sense. And really, every song on that fucking project was a hit. But yeah, just keep that shit short, man. So, shout out to Kendrick for narrowing that down. That's a really cool information, a little fact. Speaking of Game and Kendrick Lamar, there are rumors and reports that the Game is mocking Kendrick Lamar on a track called Left, I believe. Left Out on the mixtape, which is every movie needs a trailer. And I actually wanted to review that mixtape, but I haven't finished it completely because of all the stuff that was going on. So I'm going to review it in the next episode. I'm going to give my thoughts on that. But yeah, apparently, let's go with this article. The Game just dropped his new Mike and Keys produced Gangsta Grillz mixtape. Every movie needs a trailer, and his bars caught a lot of attention. One particular track caused a stir due to its reference to Candace Owens, but a handful of other ones fueled long-standing Kendrick Lamar beef rumors. Before we get into that, though, a massive grain of salt is in order. After all, the Game just spoke on Kendrick Lamar during a recent interview, claiming he wanted to sign him back in the day. Also, Jayceon Taylor ranked K-Dot above him on his best Los Angeles rappers list, and he has been very praiseful to the former TDE artist many times in the past. Still, the Game's solid relationship with Kendrick's sworn rival Drake, plus a few battle-related discrepancies here and there, have fueled a lot of speculation that he actually dislikes Lamar or is going at him for whatever reason. So this is the track, and these are the bars. I'm going to play a little bit. I don't know if I can. It's probably going to be copyrighted. Let me play a little bit of it.
Both you niggas, now nobody wins. You following trends, I'm going with the wind. I don't want to hang with you niggas, my arm in the rim.
So yeah, he's talking like Kendrick Lamar when he does those crazy voices. The bars say, F your album, we don't want to hear it. I'm speaking in tongues, I got the spirit. F you, man, who said win. F both of you guys, now nobody wins. You follow trends, I'm going with the win. I don't want to hang with you guys, my arm in the rim. And what a Vince Carter to Kobe, even after I die, you can't hold me. Stop calling me bro, we ain't homies. And if you live on the coast, you owe me. For all the things I showed you, you're not Tyrese, you Jody. All that snooping around must be the veggies. I'm the only one pistol whipping legends. yeah, I don't really see this as a diss. I can understand why people take it that way. And there's been a lot of people saying that the game has been jealous of Kendrick Lamar because Kendrick Lamar got the Super Bowl show. He didn't, when Game was, ahead of him, in terms of fame and success. That was the first moment that people pointed it out. And then obviously the Game is more tied in with Drake than Kendrick Lamar. So I don't know. I think we've known Game long enough musically that he directly calls people out. I just don't see him being subliminal. He's never been subliminal in his career, ever. So with that track record, I don't take this as a diss towards Kendrick Lamar at all. He's been direct. I mean, he name drops every fucking project. Even on this project, he's name dropping. So the guy's never been subliminal. This guy's never had subliminals ever in his career. If he starts right now doing subliminals, I'll be genuinely surprised. But yeah, so I don't take this as a diss, but that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think on it. Continuing on, New Music Friday. Let's get into it. Glorilla dropped March/Special. Ice Spice and Tokisha dropped Thotty. The Game and DJ Drama obviously dropped Every Movie Needs a Trailer, the mixtape. Polo G and G Herbo dropped Gangsta Graduation. Mozzie dropped Buick to Benz. Kevin Gates dropped Fire Reloaded. I didn't listen to that. Kevin Gates' music hasn't been hitting the same as it used to. Fabio Foreign dropped Big Drip 2.0. Album sales. Taylor Swift is back at number one with The Life of a Showgirl. 95,000 sold. Crazy. Back at number one. Morgan Wallen's back at number two with I'm a Problem with 67,000 sold. K-Pop Demon Hunter's soundtrack is back at number 3 with 65,000 sold. Stray Kids Do It is down to number 4 with 62,000 sold. Wicked for Good soundtrack is at number 5 with 58,000 sold. Michael Rubel Christmas is at number 6 with 58,000 sold. Bing Crosby Ultimate Christmas is at number 7 with 50,000 sold. Olivia Dean The Art of Loving number 8 with 48,000 sold. Nat King Cole The Christmas Song at number 9 with 42,000 sold. And Vince Guardio Trio Charlie Brown Christmas at number 10 with 40,000 sold. Going down the list, SZA SOS number 15 with 32,000 sold. Drake Take Care number 37 with 20,000 sold. Cardi B In My Drama number 40 with 20,000 sold. Tyler the Creator Chromacopia at number 45 with 18,000 sold. Kendrick Lamar GNX number 48 with 17,000 sold. Yeah, a lot of projects are getting shifted around because of these Christmas projects that are coming around. A lot of people are listening to them. But yeah, that's it for today's episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast. As always, guys, I appreciate you for supporting, watching, all that. It means the world to me. Spotify, Deezer, Podcast, YouTube. Have an amazing night, day, whenever you listen to this, and peace.